Hi, here with the 12 volt shed. We're on the beautiful Moreton Island and we've been camping now for 7 days. So one of the things I wanted to go over was camping with 12 volt and living off of 12 volt. It's very, very important that we understand what power we've got, how much we've got, and what lengths of time. A lot of people just fit a voltmeter. They might just get a little cheap voltmeter somewhere, or have something on the top of a battery box that's, you know, the different colour lights that might show you green is full and orange is half full and red is dead. And that's great, that'll get you out of trouble and it's a good quick visual indicator. But when you want to do an extended period of time like this, where you're 7 or 8 days and you're running a lot of things like fridges and lighting and camera charging, you really, really want to have yourself a good voltage and amperage meter. Just looking at voltage is a little bit like having your fuel gauge, where you can see how much fuel you got, but you never bothered to work out how many litres per 100 kilometres you were using so you could tell how much distance. So when we introduce amperage into amperage is the amount of electricity that we're using, or the current flow. Then we start to see the full picture. And as I'll show you now, you'll see on this little volt and amp meter that we've been camping here for 24 hours and it gives us a bit of an indication around about 46 amps of energy just used by the fridge. One of the most versatile products I think you can buy, and the most affordable for everybody to have, is a little product that you can pick up. Most of your electrical wholesalers will have this. I purchased this one from J-Car Electronics. It's basically got 2 Anderson plugs, a little display on it. At one end it says source and the other end it says load. So source would go towards my battery, load would go towards my fridge or whatever I was running. And what this does is, over a period of about 48 hours, it logs the voltage that you've used, the amperage, the watts, and it'll cycle through the screen and it'll give you a really great indication of exactly how much power you're using. Now the beauty of this little product is I can unplug this from, say, my fridge, and the next day I can move it up to my solar panel, plug it in between my solar panel and the battery, and now I can see how much solar I've produced for the day. And as long as I'm generating more than I'm consuming, I can sit here and camp in this gorgeous location indefinitely. So that's just a really great little way of having a good full picture of what's going on. So voltage and amperage, and reading both, you'll hear me crack on about it, and it's really, really important that you know. You know, your fuel gauge on your battery, if I'm at 12.2 volts and I'm consuming 10 amps, that's usually a sign that I need to turn some things off. But if I'm at 12.7 volts and I've only got 1 or 2 amps running, then I've got plenty of time to go. So you can sort of work out roughly by the amount of load as to the voltage as to where we need to be. Check out our battery series on batteries and where the low voltages are and how to tell when a battery's flat or full. That's a good video to watch, but always think of the voltmeter. Now, one other thing I always bring with me on every trip is my absolute trusty multimeter. I will do a separate video on how to use a multimeter for those of you that it looks a bit overwhelming, all these buttons on the front, but they really are very simple. And I use this as my benchmark. This is the meter that I trust and that I go to, even though in the scheme of the world of multimeters, this might not be the most accurate. It's always very reliable that that's my baseline, and I can always check things with this as well. Hey, not saying they're made in China, but sometimes the quality and the accuracy is a little different from gauge to gauge. I actually find these very, very accurate to the multimeter, and that's why I like them. So there you go, folks. Voltage, amperage, camping with 12 volt, and using some basic resources to extend your time and have a better time. Thanks.